This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Well, the sun is setting in sunny South Africa, and there is just the most joyful sighting as two little baby Ellies are playing. This is Safari Live.
This is so exciting. We've managed to find the Sausage Tree Pride.
Look at this last dash.
This is amazing.
Look at that incredible strength.
20 seconds.
Here come the cheetah.
Unbelievable stuff.
I'm just keeping my head on a swivel. You never know what's going to happen next in these situations.
Standing by.
Can you believe this?
Three, two, one. Live.
Good evening, South Africa, and welcome back to Safari Live. My name is James Hendry, and it is an enormous privilege to welcome you, our most knowledgeable TV audience, back onto our vehicles. The world's largest game drive has just rolled into your living room. We're coming to you live from two locations in Africa, the Maasai Mara in Kenya and down at Jummah Private Game Reserve on the western fringes of the Greater Kruger National Park. We have got something so very, very special for you here. This is the Sausage Tree Pride, and, well, this isn't the entire pride. These are the newest additions to the little Sausage Tree Pride. 5 lionesses. Last week we told you that we thought one of them had given birth. She has. Here they are. 3 gorgeous little cubs, probably only about 2 weeks old. Now, we had some tremendous action last week. If you missed it, this is what happened.
Last week on Safari Live. I was with the Sausage Tree Pride and their 3 playful cubs. Kinky Tail looked like she was days away from birthing a litter sired by one of the Owino Pride males. We learned Kinky Tail's history and watched her reveling in the carnival of the migration. Meanwhile, in the Western Kruger, Steve enjoyed the awe-inspiring company of a pack of endangered wild dogs and their adorable puppies. Jamie laughed as Hosanna, as usual, enjoyed his moment of fame in the sun.
So that's what happened this week, and let's hope last week, let's hope that this week has just the same amount of action. Please talk to us using the hashtag #SafariLive on Twitter. You can send us your questions, your comments, your insults, as I say to you always. Can't promise we'll read those out, but we'll do our best to address them. As I said, this is the Sausage Tree Pride newest editions, and they are in black and white because we're shooting them in infrared. That's so we don't put any artificial white light on them. We don't want to attract potential scavengers like hyenas through here, or perhaps even other lions. And so we've got them in invisible light to all the animals around here. Our camera's very sophisticated. It's able to pick up the light. It's much darker here in Kenya than it is in South Africa. We are an hour ahead of South Africa, and the sun set about an hour ago. Now, that is a beautiful little cub there, as you can see. Just looking for its siblings. It's got the 2 little siblings that have just gone into the thicket to the right-hand side. And while we wait for the others to come out, let's go back across to a much older, much more grizzled, much more experienced cat.
Meet the Duke of Jummah. A very warm welcome to Safari Live, where we take you on an adventure to show you all sorts of absolutely astounding things. Now, my name is Jamie, and I've spent the afternoon following this magnificent male leopard. His name is Tingana, and we have shown him to you on your screens before. We refer to him as the Duke of Jummah because, of course, we are here on Jummah Private Game Reserve, which is in the Greater Kruger National Park area of South Africa. And he is the dominant male leopard of this area. He's getting on in years, but remember last week we introduced you to Hosanna, the little chief. that is in fact his son. So this is Hosana's father, known for stealing food from Hosana himself. Now, Tingana's name means shy, and he is spectacularly shy when it comes to people on foot. His son is the complete opposite, as Sydney experienced not too long ago.
A very good morning. I am Sydney and welcome to the beginning of the special broadcast. This is a lovely sighting. I have got Hosana on a guided walk. I am here by Jummah Game Reserve, the western side of the Greater Kruger National Park. I am with one of the lovely cats doing some hunting activities. This is Hosana. Look at that. Hosana is now looking at something. I'm not too sure what he's trying to check here, but I can see that he is hunting something right in front of me. So I'm just gonna let Hosana to guide me to where the target is. Look at that. You can see that he is hiding and he is trying to avoid to be spotted by all means. He is trying to duck at something which is further up right in the drainage line. This is interesting. Look at that. He is now deciding to go up the drainage line, but his target is somewhere in the middle along the drainage line. So I'm just gonna keep following and see his intentions. I still can't see what exactly Hosana is trying to do or who his target is at the moment.
Now, two of the most special cat experiences you can have are lion cubs and a leopard on foot. Now, although you can't see the leopard nearly as well on foot, to experience an animal like that not reacting to your presence at all while it goes about its hunting is just unreal. Now, these little things have headed off into a thicket, unfortunately. Naturally, all afternoon they were out, but at the moment they've gone into a thicket. They're waiting for their mother. We think that their mother is a lioness who we've called Miti, which means tree. She likes to climb trees, and that's why she's got that name. She's gone off. We found 3 of the other lionesses later or earlier this afternoon, and we were hoping that the mother will come back and perhaps feed them. They certainly look hungry enough, and they've been looking around into the clearings where the other lionesses are, and hopefully Mom will come back during the course of the next little while. Now, that same lioness, during the migration season, was on the hunt with Brent Leo Smith.
The sausage tree pride have just woken up to the sound of no. Thousands of wildebeest have been streaming into the area where they're in the shade. Now, I think they're going to hunt. I think they're going to utilize this lugga. A lugga is a little river system to get close to those wildebeest. So what we're going to do is just move up ahead where I think the lions are going to explode out of. We can only see one, but 2 females have already moved towards the best spot to possibly catch themselves a wildebeest or a zebra, and you can see there's all numbers and numbers of them out here. So let's just go around this little corner, because I think the lions are going to come through this thicket of trees.
So that lioness there who was hunting the wildebeest, and we'll find out whether or not she succeeded a little later on, is the mother of these 3 spectacular little creatures. Now, she did give birth to 4 of them initially, and one of them has already gone missing. We haven't had a sighting. This is our very first safariLIVE sighting of them. Somebody else did have a sight of 4 of them. They were being moved from one den site to the other, and definitely one of them has not made it. Only 1 out of 10 little cubs will make it to adulthood and independence, unfortunately. And so these 3, although they're unspeakably adorable, are also utterly vulnerable. They are threatened by marauding male lions, leopards, hyenas, owls. Even a large white-tailed mongoose might give them a bit of trouble. And so as we sit here, they are in a particularly vulnerable state as night falls and their mother is not here. Hopefully their mother will come back very soon and suckle them. So don't go anywhere, we'll find out soon. Oh, everybody, this is really very tense. These lions were out all afternoon, as many of you will know, of course. Now they've gone into a thicket. We don't know where their mother is. It's very stressful. It's very stressful indeed. I think we'll be okay, though. You can see that I'm feeling very stressed by life at the moment. Pressure being on television, I tell you. Okay, let me ready myself. I think is she coming out of ad break with us? No, she's not going to come out with us. Okay, that's good. All right, fantastic. Let's go back and see if we can't see them again. While we do that, let's go back across to South Africa where Pyjamas is with Tingana.
I cannot believe that we managed to stay with a Tingana. That was really quite close. It really, really was. We got so lucky. He walked parallel to that drainage line the entire time. He popped out exactly where we had him with that duiker. So it went well. Not for him, he didn't get the duiker, but it went well for us. I'm getting a lot of your comms, Emma, for the general updates. Craig, you happy with where we are? You want to give it let's give it a quick... Let's just straighten out slightly. Cool. There we go. How's that? Good. Thank you. Perfect. Welcome back live to one of the most spectacular views that one could ever experience out here. Golden coat and bright green grass and a magnificent male leopard staring across the open area, searching for a meal to make his own. This is Tingana, in case you missed it. He is the dominant male leopard here, although he is getting on in years. And I noticed today as he got up to move around that he is looking very, very hungry indeed. His reflexes are just that little bit slower these days. His senses perhaps not quite as acute as they used to be. And as a result, he is not perhaps as efficient a hunter as he used to be. But we do know Tingana well. We've known him for over 4 years, and in that time he's showed us just what a proficient hunter he truly is.
One cool afternoon, Tingana was scenting and boldly declaring his territory. But securing his dukedom was put on hold as he spotted the chance for a meal. Brashness turned to stealth. An unsuspecting sow made the ultimate mistake. A large warthog like this is a formidable animal, but a male leopard, even the old Duke, is heavier, faster, and stronger. Avoiding dangerous tusks and wrestling an angry warthog to death takes years of experience. Securing his prize from scavengers was the final act of a perfect afternoon for Tingana.
So there you have it. Tingana is actually something of a warthog specialist. He is a really, really good and quite talented when it comes to tackling a prey that is particularly dangerous. Now, we're fortunate enough to be able to view Tingana not only in colour, for it is still light enough, we are also able to have a look at him through the eyes of the FLIR thermal camera. Now, while we think about that and something for you to look forward to, Bobble Girl wants to know whether or not leopards or lions are more efficient when it comes to hunting, I believe. And the answer to that is that it is much of a muchness. Lions, of course, have an advantage in the sense that they are social hunters, where leopards are solitary, but their success rate is very, very similar indeed. The big difference, of course, for leopards is that they don't have the strength to actually see off the scavengers, so they're more likely to lose their kills unless they put them up into a tree. So they're very, very similar. So there you go, there is Tingana in all his glory. It's still light enough. I think he's waiting for the darkness to descend before he goes off to hunt those impala that he can see. You can't see them at the moment, but I can, and I know exactly what he's aiming for. So that's something for us to anticipate. Now, I've already mentioned that Tingana is very shy on foot. It is a completely unparalleled experience to be able to not only walk with a leopard, but to watch them hunting while you're on foot. And that is why we're all very envious of the sighting that Sydney had.
Lisa, we are very much comfortable with his presence. I can promise you here where I am, there is no threat at all. We are used to this kind of animal behavior, and we are interacting with these animals every day. So I can see that now he is trying to come down again towards the drainage line. There he is. He just missed the scrub hair now. It was a scrub hair. Or maybe he managed to catch it right at the corner there. But I saw he was going fast, and then he tried to catch it. It was a scrub head that he was targeting. Oh, Hosana just missed a morning meal. What a sighting. That was a great sighting. But I saw that he went up this way trying to catch it. Maybe he gave his second attempt, but I saw that he missed that scrub hair. We nearly saw a kill. So they all ran up this way. So maybe I might get him again here by the corner.
Well, wasn't that absolutely amazing? Sydney has been thoroughly spoilt. To get a leopard on foot and be able to follow it around is a very special thing, but to be able to watch it hunt on foot, well, that's just unbelievable and one of those once-in-a-lifetime moments. And you can see we're just gazing upon a full moon. Well, it's not quite full just yet. It's getting fuller and should be full in the next couple of days, but we were doing that because we're waiting for the ellies. So basically, the ellies are there. They come actually right now, which is perfect timing. So we were sitting here. We came onto the other side of them because going through dense thickets and trying to kind of off-road behind ellies is just going to make them move faster. And so we came all the way around to where we thought they would come out, and we were just sitting gazing upon the beautiful moon, and these guys have just now started to emerge, which is absolutely amazing. Now, it's a really nice size herd of ellies. There's about 14 or 15 of them in this particular herd, and that's about average for what we see in this part of the world. Some of the herds will get much larger and some are smaller. There can be herds as much as 100 elephants together within the Kruger system, but most of the time in this particular part we'll get between sort of 10 and 30. Raul, you're saying, how can you get this job? Well, it takes a bit of training, unfortunately. You've got to go and get some guiding qualifications, which there's various places around South Africa that do that. And then from there, be able to kind of come out here and you'd have to do an interview drive, and basically it would be to see how comfortable you would be in front of, one, a camera, and two, to be able to guide and see all the animals and provide interesting information about them. But it's not that unattainable. There's many people that have started guiding quite late in life. I know some people that started doing guiding courses when they were in their 50s already, and were able to kind of get qualifications and then be out in the South African wilderness and be able to guide guests, or, I mean, some very few lucky people like us are able to do it for all of you at home. It really is quite special to be able to host all of you and take you all out on a safari like this. It's quite incredible to have that many people that you're kind of talking to. Anyway, we're going to try to get a better view of our Ellies as they come towards the road. In the meantime, though, I'm going to send you to James Henry, who must have a huge smile on his face as he has an incredible experience with those little lion cubs.
Well, we certainly were having a special experience. We found the other 3 cubs. The first 3 went into their thicket, and now we've got the other 3. We just drove along the road a little bit, and there we go. Heads have popped up. Now remember, we've got a 4-month-old and 2 5-month-olds here, all males. Of the other group, definitely one of them is a female. Come on now, little fellows. Stick your heads out the grass. There we are. Oh, there we go. Fantastic, a little bit of play behaviour, that's what we want. And they're still cute at this age, aren't they? Not quite as cute as those little things, but they're still very cute. There we go. So affectionate, so astonishingly affectionate, and yet they will be so astonishingly violent with each other when they're older and they're fighting over kills and sometimes over ladies as well. Sorry everybody, I think that we are losing communication with Johannesburg a little bit. Oh, sorry about that. I know there was a question coming in, I'm afraid I missed it. There was a break-up of communications. And so we'll try and get that question again. Right, Deborah, you're interested in why the cubs are going into thick cover. Deborah, I think it's because they feel safer in that thick cover. There can be no other real reason for it. It's got very dark now, and I think, well, a little bit like us, although they do see very well at night, a little bit like us, they feel safer under cover in the darkness, the little ones. Now, you can see the slightly older ones, however, are much more interested in seeing what's about. They're much more keen to start playing now. We've driven all over this area the whole afternoon, and these little things didn't move. So they've obviously been sleeping, much like the adults have, and now, as darkness has fallen, so they're waking up a little bit, just like young adults, and they're starting to play. Unfortunately, the one in the middle seems to be having a salad, which is not ideal for a lion. Right, we're still going to hope that the mothers come back to feed these, so don't go anywhere while we wait. I'm still losing my comms. I think we're okay now. Bungay, how are your comms? Are they going in and out? Yeah. Emma, our comms are going in and out as we're in ad break. So I'm not sure if anyone can do anything about that at this stage of the game. Alrighty, while we try and sort that out, let's go across to Tristain.
Indeed, you are with us and caught up with our Ellies, which is nice. They're slowly going to feed towards us. Well, at least some of them anyway. Some have already passed by and kind of just slowly taking it easy as they go. And it's been really nice to spend some time with a nice herd of Ellies. The only thing is that they have done a really interesting kind of movement. They've gone in a complete loop. So they came into this block from the north, walked south pretty much towards Treehouse Dam, and then turned and came back north again right to where not sure why, probably with a bit of the wind and things that it's making them kind of move around in a bit of a different sort of direction. Right, now we are going to be going out of our ad break shortly, so I'm just going to keep quiet for a little bit until such time as we do. Welcome back, everybody. As you can see, we are still sitting with our herd of ellies as they gently feed their way through the bush. They are having the best time. Now that it's summer and there's been a bit of rain, there's so much vegetation and grass for these guys to be able to feed. Now remember, we are coming to you live. It really is quite special that we can sit here and bring you these images from the middle of the bush and that you can all tag along with us. Now, these ellies, like I say, they're going to make use of a lot of what's grown because of the rains, and mostly what's grown because of the rains is very green grass. Now, that grass has started to seed, and so these elephants, they're going to have changed their diet somewhat from the winter time. Normally in winter, you'll find them feeding off roots and barks and those kind of things. Now in summer, they start to feed mostly on grass, and these guys will eat probably about 60% of their diet will be grass, and you can actually see how they're just taking huge swathes of it as they go and feeding off those nutritious grass tips that are housing huge amounts of seeds, and those seeds have a lot of nutrients inside them, so it's a really kind of good food source. Obviously it takes a long time to pick enough grass to sustain the diet of an elephant. You must remember that an elephant, a really big bull, is going to be eating close to 300 kilograms of food in a day, so picking grass takes quite a long time, but they do it. They will do it all day long, in fact, as they go about their business. Right, we're going to keep up with our herd. We're going to see what else they get up to during the course of the evening. In the meantime, though, back to James and those adorable little Sausage Tree Pride cubs.
Well, once again, they heard that they were going to be on screen, and so what they've done is lie down in the grass. There's something extremely special about elephants in the twilight, I find, and so although I'm really enjoying my lions, I am slightly envious of Tristan of elephants in the dark or in the twilight. Certainly, I think they're most special at that time of the day. There's something very mysterious about them and the light. Right, middle of frame, we've got a little lion cub. There we go. Now, let us go back to Brent Leo Smith, the inimitable and highly excitable, as he followed the mother of the three youngest cubs.
So the Sausage Tree Pride have made it across the lugger. She's busy trying to get into a good position. It is a time of plenty. Now, these poor wildebeest run the gauntlet of teeth and claws from all the different predators. It is unbelievable how these predators gorge themselves during the migration and how they struggle outside of migration. She's busy trying to get into a good position to get the wildies. You can hear how many wildebeest are close to us. I've lost sight of her now, but here are the closest wildies. There she is. She's just popped up her head. Oh, she's down again. She's using all available cover. Look at her go. Can just make her out there. So she's going to try get through to the thickets in front of us and then explode onto a wildebeest. She's looking for a place to jump across the water. There's quite a bit of water in this little river. Isn't this just incredible?
And we're back live, where I promised you there was a leopard just a few moments ago. Oh, he's changed a direction. Watching predators hunt, whether it's lions in the Maasai Mara or leopards here on Jummah, is a truly, I would say, intriguing experience, but at the same time it is also one of those feelings of sheer anticipation. You never know. You know that the odds are stacked against the predator, and we're really struggling to see him now. Most of the hunts that they initiate will not be successful. He's decided to change his mind in terms of where he's going to go. He's hunting impala that were over here on the open area a moment ago, and what he's got to do is wait for darkness to descend, and that's why he's hiding behind these bushes. He looks like he's scent marking. I can smell the smell of buttered popcorn, which, believe it or not, is exactly what leopard urine smells like. Makundi says, don't we ever get hurt? Is it not dangerous following leopards? Yes, Makundi, it can be, especially when they disappear in the way that they do here. But at no point do we feel threatened by the leopards, and that is because they have grown up in this area with safari vehicles. They do not see us as a threat, nor do they see us as food. So we are not at any major risk, but because they are wild animals, we are always incredibly cautious around them, and we're constantly evaluating their body language. Speaking of which, Tingana's body language is telling me that he's heading off. It's even more important to evaluate the animals when you're following them on foot, which is exactly what Sydney was doing.
Here is Hosanna coming down this way. You can see him right there. He is moving towards the drainage line. This is a very lovely sighting. So he's somewhere right over there. So he's right walking up the drainage line, and he's very much relaxed. He's not worried about anything. I have been following him all the way from Calagopan. Sherry, this is indeed awesome. This is a lovely sighting. I have got Hosan on a guided walk. Here he is, right here. So you can see he's right here walking towards the western side of the game reserve. This is interesting, lovely, not worried about our presence at all.
There you have it. It is absolutely fascinating how the leopards work out here, and Sydney has of course been following Hosanna for a very, very long time. Now look at this. We're watching Tingana through the eyes of our FLIR thermal camera, and he's got something. I don't know what it is. It's something quite strange looking. I think he might have caught a squirrel or something like that. There's a little bit of fur that I can see, but of course you can see through the eyes of the thermal camera just how warm he is compared to the cool background. That, of course, is because it has been quite a cold day for the Lowveld. I'm not sure where you're watching from in South Africa, but maybe you've experienced a little bit of the weather that we've been having here. Very, very windy. Look at him munching away. It's a bit of fur there. Oh, yuck. You didn't like that at all. There we go. He is happily munching away. It is getting dark, so very soon we will be switching to infrared light. But for now, we are able to watch it. Let's see if we can figure out what that is. I think it's a squirrel. Or I think it was a squirrel. It's no longer a squirrel. It is now cat food. Speaking of munching away, speaking of cat food, of course, that is definitely not going to be a large enough meal to keep him sated, but it does give you an idea as to just how hungry he is. If he's grabbing at morsels like this, he could really, really use a good meal. Now, it's not very easy for predators out here. They have to search and find and catch their meals. For large animals like elephants, it is a little bit simpler.
Now, you're very, very, very correct, Jamie, that the Ellies do have a much easier time of finding food, particularly at this time of the year. Although it's been tough for them over the past few years, we've had quite serious drought conditions in this part of the world, which has meant that we've had not as much growth, and it's been a lot harder for Ellies to find food, particularly in 2016. it was really quite tough for them. But now, after a bit of rain that we've had over December and the beginning part of January, things have exploded out, and you can see that they are relishing having all of these grasses. And you can see one that is just creeping up next to us. It is so epic to be sitting this close to a herd of wild elephants. It is absolutely amazing. It really is one of those very special experiences in this world. It is something that you can't really describe until you do it. Right, we're going to go for a short little break. Hopefully these ellies are going to continue to entertain us and the babies will come out. But until then, we'll see you shortly. Well, now we are in our ad break. You can see that they are the two little ones that we were hoping that would be out and about. They seem to be quite full of beans, these two. We saw them a little bit earlier, and they are full of character. They tend to be pushing each other around, as little baby elephants often are. It's the best part about herds is these little guys. They often have a lot of attitude and up to all kinds of no good. So I thoroughly enjoy spending time with ellies, as much as many of you know. It's always very, very good. Now, we are going to have to go on to infrared, though. It's getting very, very dark, so I do apologize. You'll see the image will change from color to black and white shortly. Right, now, while we do that, though, let's send you across to James up in the Mara and see what his little cub's up to.
Hello everybody, I'm just quickly going to ask Emma a question. Em, which clip about the cubs are we going to do? I'm unclear. Got a little bit more of advert break. She's going to tell me, I hope. Okay, copy that. Confirm. Sorry. Okay. Right, never mind. I'll figure it out. We have got these gorgeous cubs here. Now, in the distance, we did hear some screaming elephants. And I think that we might find that the mother is coming this way, because I think that's why there was a great screaming of elephants. Okay, I'm going to be quiet now as we go back to TV. Don't panic, everyone. Welcome back, everybody. We're still sitting here with the Sausage Tree Pride cubs, and it is a tremendous privilege to share them with you. My name is James Hendry, and please do remember to talk to us using the hashtag safariLIVE on Twitter. You can send us your questions and comments. Anything you'd like, we'd love to engage with you about these characters or conservation or the wild in general. Okay, let's go back to these cubs, and I'll tell you that in the distance I've heard some screaming elephants. Now, it is a traumatic sound, but I doubt they're experiencing trauma. What I suspect is that the three lionesses that we saw earlier this afternoon are now on their way back here. They've bumped into the elephants. The elephants have taken exception to the presence of the predators, especially close to their little ones. So maybe, just maybe, we'll be very lucky and have one of the mothers arrive back either with these ones or even more specially with the brand new little arrivals. That would be very special. Now, Francis, what a great question about Kinky Tail. She's the oldest lioness in the Sausage Tree Pride, and you're wondering if she's given birth yet. Francis, we're not actually sure. We haven't seen Kinky Tail for a couple of days, so I don't know if she's managed to give birth yet or not. It's quite possible. She was so heavy last week, so it's quite possible that she has given birth. It'll be somewhere in the stream over here, but I'm not sure if that has taken place yet. We hold our thumbs. We might next week have not just 3 tiny cute little teddy bears, but perhaps 6 or 7. That would be very special. Let's see if we can see these chaps once more. And while we look for them, it is, as I said to you, an extremely precarious life for lion cubs. It's very difficult for them to survive. 1 or 2 out of 10 make it to adulthood, and the Sausage Tree Pride has not always been successful.
A lioness gives birth after a gestation of just over 3 months. In 2018, 3 Sausage Tree Pride lionesses became mothers for the first time. In June, a tiny new member arrived in the pride. Kinky Tail and the other lionesses warmed immediately to the playful cub as it explored its new world. Just a single cub surviving to meet the pride is not unusual for a first-time mother. The first few months of a lion's life were extremely precarious, and this tiny cub disappeared soon after we met it. Nobody knows what happened. But tragedy soon turned to joy as another Sausage Tree Pride lioness introduced her 2 healthy little sons to the pride a few months later. They are completely adorable but also utterly defenseless without the protection of the pride. Then, a few weeks after that, the lioness with a limp sustained during a migration hunt also gave birth. The new additions brought the Sausage Tree Pride nursery up to an adorable 4. The older cubs were fascinated when their little cousins were introduced. And all 5 lionesses have taken to the task of parenting the creche. But not even their efforts could prevent the mysterious disappearance of one of the youngest. Hopefully, the sausages can protect the remaining cubs during this, the most vulnerable time of their lives.
So those new additions that we spoke of, there are these ones here. Now, there were initially 4, and as I said to you last week, one of the 4-month-olds, well, she wasn't 4-month-old when she died, but we've only got 1 left. So there are 3 of them left, and those are the ones we spoke about. The limpy lioness, who we used to call Limpy Lou, no longer has a limp, so that's very good. So I suppose we should probably just call her Lou, but she's quite difficult to identify, given that she doesn't limp anymore. Now, Brent Leo Smith is very good at leaving you on a cliffhanger, and I tell you, he's about to push you right to the edge of that cliff now.
She's used that thick cover to her advantage. She is now a mere 15 to 20 meters from the closest wildebeest. I think she might still continue along the edge to get even closer before she launches her attack. Now, of course, I can't see the other lionesses. Oh, she's disappeared again. There she's creeping through the bush. This grass is absolutely ideal for her to stalk through. There she is. Look at that, isn't that? She's now 10 meters from the closest wildebeest. The wildebeest is still absolutely oblivious that there's a lion right there. She's getting within striking range now. Just remember, guys, this can get quite disturbing and is not for sensitive viewers, so I do apologize. But this is nature happening at its most pure right now, this very instant. This lion is taking advantage of all the food that's available after some really tough months. And these poor wildebeest run this gauntlet every year. I've lost sight of her. She must be a few meters from those wildebeest now. I'm trying to make sure that we haven't missed out. There could easily be another lioness setting up ambush as well. Where is she? Where is she? Where is she?
Can you believe that? You see, I told you, the odds are so often stacked, not against the prey, but against the predator. We're back live with Tingana. You will, of course, notice that we are in black and white. That is because it is now after dark. So in order to be able to follow these animals, we want to be able to do so with the absolute minimum amount of impact. Now, he is following in the tracks of his son. He's literally walking the exact path that his son walked last night. So we're going to follow him in the hope that perhaps he might just lead us to our second leopard of the day, because that is not unheard of. There's a very interesting dynamic between the father and the son here. Hosana is 3 years old. He's not ready to be dominant yet, but Tingana is nearly at the point where he is going to become nomadic. He's just not quite strong enough to retain a territory. So there you are, there he is looking into the bushes. Maybe he'll find Hosana, maybe he won't. But have a look at this very curious father-son relationship.
It is almost expected that when one of our royal leopards kills, another pitches up for a meal. This time, the son came to claim breakfast scraps from his dad. The relationship between Hosana and Tingana remains interesting. While it's not unheard of for a young male to mature in his father's territory, the little chief seems to seek out the Duke's company. And Tingana is remarkably tolerant of the close proximity of his nearly 3-year-old son. Once Tingana had departed, Hosana demonstrated that not only is he social, he is also a complete clown.
So there you have it, a little bit of insight into the dynamic between Hosana and his father Tingana, who you can see in front of you. You will also, of course, notice, because how could you fail to, that there is another vehicle in the sighting. That is, of course, because this is an area where people can come on safari. So they have come to join us as we watch Tingana move throughout the darkness. Imagine what a special experience it is for the guests on the back of that vehicle. It is an equally special experience for us, of course. Now, it is darkness is falling, which is, of course, the leopard's time to shine. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned, and let's find out what Tingana gets up to. Alrighty, well that was interesting. He's now... Here's an interesting one. He very nearly was right next to the bunch of tires that they used to scrape the roads. Okay, cool. That was really interesting. We're going to catch up with him again now. He's walking straight down towards the dam, exactly where Hosana walked. I don't know where he is now. I've lost him. I'm going to have to get my spotlight out shortly. I can't see a thing. Bear with me one moment. Where'd he go? That way. Oh, right. Thanks, guys. He's here. I've got him. Thank you. Okay, right. Sorry, I forgot I was live. Off, I was distracted. Off you go to Tristan.
Indeed, you are back with us, and with the herd of ellies as they begin to disappear behind some more thickets. It's that time of the evening, really, where they are quite mobile, and I'm sure it's because of the wind that we've got this evening. It tends to be a lot busier than they normally are. Now, there's some more coming through here, Genre. They should come to the right of this mound. I can just see kind of, it's getting to that point also where I can't really see what's going on. I can just see backs kind of moving through, and you can almost hear them as they come past us, which is quite interesting at this stage. So it should be on the right of the mound. They should come past on that side. Somewhere there, Genre. I don't think we can see too much just yet. So let me just reposition. Come on, Rusty. So just got to get Rusty into a better spot. Well, welcome back, everybody. As you can see, we are still in amongst the thickets at the moment as we're trying to kind of keep up with our ellies that are moving around. The one amazing thing about what we can do at this time of the night is follow an animal like elephants. Normally, you wouldn't be able to follow these guys. We try to leave them alone at night, and we don't want to disturb them with lights and things like that. But because of the infrared technology, it allows us to get this inside sort of look into their lives during the course of the night, and to see what they actually get up to under the cover of darkness. Now, Kulani, do they eat meat at all? No. So ellies are herbivorous animals. They have a digestive system that really isn't designed to process meat. They need to have massive kind of amounts of grass, and so no, they don't eat meat. You'll find that they'll sometimes pick up bones and sniff them, and they'll kind of suck on them a little bit, but very seldom do you ever see them going after kind of meat or ever eating meat at all. I think there's going to be some more of them that are going to come past us. They are walking all over the place at the moment. It's actually really tricky to keep up with where everybody is in this darkness. They blend in so well, and it really is quite amazing. Good, we're going to try and see if we can maybe get one last view of these guys. In the meantime, though, Brent Leo Smith is still with those Sausage Tree Pride lioness, and well, in nature sometimes you get the most unexpected things that can play out.
Oh, look at that! The wildebeest is chasing the lion back! That is not something you see every day! Well done, Wildy! Oh my goodness! Now, wasn't that a completely opposite turn of events? That is not something you see every day. I thought that wildebeest was done for, guaranteed. But unfortunately, the bravery of that wildebeest bull sent the sausage tree female retreating. There he is. He's that last guy there on the edge. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Was that not absolutely amazing? Let's go see where she is. She's disappeared now. She might try again, but that was a serious turn of events, that one. And that's what I love about being out here in the bush all the time. You never know what is going to happen. There's no ways I was going to predict that that wildebeest was going to escape. I thought he was a goner for sure.
Right, now we're just trying to kind of use a side light to be able to sort of position ourselves a little bit better and to actually be able to see where we're going. It's incredible. It's so dark that I can't really see where we're driving, nor can I see the ellies. But as you can see there, when the infrared light is on, you're able to kind of pick up what's going on and to see these ellies as they go through these thicknets. And it really is amazing. You would think that an animal of that size would be easily visible in the bush, but actually they blend in incredibly well, and it's why they can be seriously dangerous at night, and why it's not advisable to be walking around or moving around too much at night, because you won't see these guys. You'll bump right into them. I'm going to just try and see if we can move a little bit, because I can see one that's just come out into the open, so we're just going to try and kind of get through a little bit. Now they should just be on my left hand side fairly shortly. Looks like there's actually quite a few of them. There we go. Now you can hear there's one there that's screaming. Now that's one of the little ones. Listen. Now they'll often scream like that if they want milk. So I wonder if that little one is getting agitated because mom was not allowing it to suckle, because the herd is quite mobile, and so the little one maybe is hungry and is shouting a little bit, and that's why it's kind of making a bit of noise. But that's definitely a young one that was making that noise. Right, they are disappearing once again into even more of a thicket, so we're going to try and see if we can get another view. In the meantime though, back across to Jamie and the Duke Tingana to see if he's still on the hunt.
Our leopard has just got up and dashed off into the bushes. We only managed to keep up with him by the skin of our teeth. So he's obviously seen something that he is interested in, which is where our infrared light and of course our thermal camera as well helps us out immensely in terms of keeping track of his movements, because we don't want to shine any artificial light on him while he is hunting. This has opened up an entire world to us. Now, you of course have only seen a Tingana looking like he's going to hunt. Have a look at what he looks like when he's in full flow.
Tingana has probably never looked healthier. He's muscled, supple, unhampered by niggling injury, and lord of his land. Although he is not averse to scavenging, his hunting skills remain superb. He still has the strength and foresight to stash his meals where others can't reach them. Knowing precisely just how much effort is required to keep his kills. Despite his 13 years, Tingana retains all razor weapons in his paws, and his teeth are still brutally sharp. Unlike from his son Hosana, hyenas can only ever expect the smallest scraps from the Duke's table.
Tingana is on alert, but as we've said, things are getting harder and harder for him as he ages, and I think there's a very good chance that he is going to continue to be reliant upon his son when it comes to hunting. Right, we've got to try and follow him in the dark, which is going to be quite tricky, but let us see if we can get you one last glimpse before the end of this safari. Now, none of us have any idea exactly how things are going to play out with Tingana. Now, Craig, you say this is awesome. I know. Can you think of a better reason why you should be continuing to watch these live safaris as we teach you just a little bit about the way in which our characters interact, and of course the fact that this is a crucial period of both Tingana and Hosana's life. But that brings us to the end of our live safari. Thank you so much for joining us, sending through your questions and comments, and keeping us company. We look forward to seeing you once again, same time, same place, next week. Until then.